The first light of the day settles gently across the open fields, revealing details most people overlook. From a distance, the landscape appears calm, but as you walk closer, the signs of disturbance become clear. Sections of soil look overturned as if a plow passed through at random angles. Small irrigation channels are disrupted, and patches of young crops lie uneven across the ground. These patterns are not caused by weather or equipment. They are the result of a growing population of feral pigs that move through the countryside with remarkable adaptability. Their presence is subtle at first, but the effects build quickly, creating challenges for farmers, landowners, and wildlife managers who work daily to protect the fields. If you enjoy content that explains real outdoor issues clearly and responsibly, please like the video, share it with others interested in nature and farming, and subscribe to the channel to support our work. As the morning continues, more evidence becomes visible along the far edges of the fields. Tracks lead from thick brush into cultivated ground, showing how easily these animals shift between natural cover and human-managed land. Their feeding behavior is simple but highly impactful. By rooting for tubers, insects, or moisture-rich soil, they loosen the earth and expose crops to dehydration and erosion. A single group can create enough disruption in one night to undo weeks of growth. And because they can thrive in nearly any environment, from wetlands to orchards to open pastures, they often expand faster than local management systems can respond. Their adaptability comes from a combination of physical strength, intelligence, and flexible diet. Feral pigs are capable of traveling long distances in search of food, and when they discover a reliable source, they return repeatedly, sometimes establishing regular routes through multiple properties. These routes, known as movement corridors, become predictable over time. Landowners who learn to identify these paths can better protect their fields. Yet even with that knowledge, the speed at which these animals reproduce adds to the challenge. A single female can produce litters multiple times per year, and juveniles reach maturity quickly, allowing populations to multiply at a pace rarely seen among medium-sized mammals. In many regions, wildlife officers and local volunteers form response teams that monitor activity and support farming communities. On this day, we followed one such team as they began their routine survey. Their truck moved slowly along back roads, with the crew scanning both sides for fresh signs. They weren't looking for confrontation. Instead, their goal was to track patterns, gather information, and apply strategies that reduce crop loss without causing unnecessary harm. The coordinator explained that effective management begins with understanding when and where the animals move, rather than reacting only when major damage occurs. The team stopped at a field where a landowner had reported activity just before sunrise. The technicians stepped out and carefully inspected the perimeter. They documented track depth, direction, and group size estimates. Even small details matter. Soil moisture changes the visibility of prints. Plant stems break in specific ways depending on the height of the animal. And the depth of root disturbance reveals how long a group spent in a single area. All these clues help determine whether the animals were passing through or planning to remain nearby. Feral pigs can create more than agricultural problems. Their movement across water channels, livestock paths, and natural habitat can contribute to the spread of parasites and diseases. While the risk varies by region, wildlife teams emphasize basic precautions. Farmers are advised to secure feed containers, maintain clean water troughs, and ensure that boundary fencing remains intact. These steps reduce the chances of indirect contamination, which can otherwise travel rapidly through interconnected farms. By midday, the team received a new report from a driver traveling between rural properties. The driver had seen animals crossing the road and noticed minor damage to a parked utility vehicle. When the crew arrived, they inspected the vehicle and the surrounding area. Thankfully, no one had been harmed, but the event served as a reminder of how important awareness is. These animals do not seek conflict, but when startled or compressed in tight spaces, they can behave unpredictably. Keeping a safe distance, staying inside a vehicle, and contacting wildlife officers are always the safest choices for the public. For viewers who live in similar environments, it is useful to prepare simple safety habits. Keep outdoor areas well lit, secure pets at night, store waste in closed containers, and avoid approaching wildlife even if they seem calm. Many incidents occur because people try to get too close, often to take photos or inspect the animals themselves. Respecting distance protects both humans and wildlife from unnecessary stress. In the afternoon, the crew returned to a hedgerow where they planned to set additional monitoring equipment. Using motion-triggered cameras allows them to record nighttime movement, identify group sizes, and observe behavior without disturbing natural patterns. Modern cameras are compact and efficient, capturing weeks of footage that can be reviewed in minutes. The data helps the team understand which areas require stronger fencing, which fields need temporary barriers, and which routes should be redirected to reduce risk to crops. While setting the cameras, the coordinator discussed the importance of community cooperation. Individual farms can take steps to protect their property, but long-lasting progress happens only when neighboring farms participate together. Shared information, coordinated timing, and consistent barriers prevent the animals from simply moving from one unsecured property to another. In recent years, areas with strong cooperation have reported significant reductions in crop damage, proving the collective response is more effective than isolated efforts. We're halfway through the day's work. And if you're finding this breakdown helpful, please remember to like the video, share it with someone who works in farming or wildlife, and subscribe so you don't miss the next field episode. Back in the fields, the technicians demonstrated a non-invasive deterrent used in areas with lighter activity. It combined visual movement with mild scent cues to discourage animals from lingering. The method isn't permanent, but when rotated and paired with secure fencing, it helps reduce the frequency of visits. Such tools are part of a broader philosophy. Prevent the problem before it escalates, and use removal only when other measures cannot protect essential resources. Later, the team met with property owners to review mitigation options. Some needed advice on improving fence tension, while others considered adjusting planting schedules or reinforcing areas most vulnerable to rooting. The crew emphasized that protecting water sources is often just as important as protecting crops. Unprotected water points can attract wildlife from long distances, making them a central hub of activity. Once secured, movement patterns shift, reducing overall field disruption. As evening approached, the crew returned to their base to review the footage from recently placed cameras. They analyzed timestamps, distances traveled, and repeated visits. Each data point adds clarity, allowing them to plan next steps, increasing barriers in certain fields, guiding landowners on best practices, and ensuring public safety near roads where crossings are frequent. Understanding this work from the inside shows just how much patience and coordination it requires. There are no instant solutions, only careful strategies built through observation, science, and cooperation among communities. When people stay informed and work collectively, the landscape becomes more resilient and the pressure on farms decreases. If you've watched to the end, thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe to support more practical, honest coverage about wildlife and rural life. Your support helps us continue documenting the real-world efforts that protect farms, families, and the environment.